So, Juan Pablo, Fuller House, the
Yes.
last half of the season. How did it go by so fast? Because it's such a fun show. I've been watching it since it first came out. It came back, and it's such a. You guys look like you have so much fun on the set. What is it about this
We
cast
do.
story?
We do. We do. We have a lot of fun. We're very lucky, and we keep seeing messages from. I keep seeing messages from like, the crew and the cast saying this is not normal. Like casts like this don't come around in a very long time because there's this mutual love and respect and fun that we all sort of have together, and it's really been wonderful. I mean, going to work was just so much fun because we basically just made each other laugh all the time. So yeah, it feels awesome to be part of it.
And when we last left off on this whole storyline from the first half, a couple people are getting married, and your character getting remarried. So
Six people are getting married. Six people are getting married.
yeah. So what was that storyline like when you were in the reading when you were reading the script and you're just like, wow, this is like crazy way to end off a first half.
Yeah, I mean, it's they just basically. I think it all stems from the fact that they introduced Fernando as a sort of cheater
Mm-hmm.
at the very beginning of the series, and then they realized, oh, but we have to keep this guy around because he's very fun. So that's when they started dancing around. Oh well, let's just remarry them and re-engage them and disengage them, and so that just became the running theme of Kimmy and Fernando, I guess. But this is a great way to wrap up that relationship and also everyone else's relationship, to have this triple wedding. And the last 9 episodes have a lot to do with what that entails. The bachelor party, the dresses, the suits, the hijinks and buffoonery that happens because of a wedding. Not just a wedding, but a triple wedding. So it's an amazing 9 episodes.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it because it looks so much fun. It looks like you've had so much fun with this character. Fernando has been something that you really molded into something that was really, really your own. What was
Right.
it about it over these years now that you've been able to are you gonna miss the character once it's
Oh
done?
yeah, because it's a character that just gave me so many nuggets and Easter eggs about myself as well. I mean, I feel like most of my roles have been dramatic roles, and so Fernando was the first time that I was really asked to go all out, as ridiculous as possible, as laugh at yourself, and it taught me something new about how I connect to the audience, how I enjoy working when it's high level comedy, sitcom, which I never thought I had a knack for. I mean, I never really thought that I had a talent in that type of comedy, and yet it just taught me to let go of all preconceptions and also to make fun of myself, which is a very valuable lesson.
Yeah.
If you're anywhere near being an actor, the best thing you can do is not take yourself seriously. And Fernando is exactly that. Is how would I be if I had the mind of a 5-year-old in a body of a 40-year-old? So that's Fernando, and it's so joyful to do because it just gave me sort of permission to just be a kid for 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's been
And
amazing.
that's such a good run, a 5-year run on a streaming platform like Netflix.
Yeah.
What do you think is what brought so many people who love the original show back, and what has made this such a success?
I think because it speaks to a lot of families. First of all, Full House was constructed on the premise of a non-traditional family.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even though they're all blonde and very Caucasian,
Yeah.
they still talked about the fact that this is a single parent, widowed parent, raising 3 daughters. And so the world in the 80s was kind of that. I mean, the world was realizing there is no ideal model of family. So when Fuller House came about, and it's like a switch on that concept, is now a single mom raising 3 boys. But then we bring the element of these very different family types, you know, like Stephanie couldn't be further from DJ, and Kimmy Gibbler, you know, the weird, awesome, kooky neighbor, is now a leading character. Before, she was just a side character, but now she's a leading character. And then you add in some spicy, you know, Latin blood in this whole thing. And I think the success of the show is it updated itself. Mm-hmm. And it spoke to a generation who are now way more, I don't know, just open-minded, I guess. And it still has that core of, you know, family and what it means to work through problems and what it means to be together. But at the same time, what Fuller House does, which, you know, I applaud, is that it kind of, it lets parents at ease when it comes to watching something with their kids. They know that if they get Fuller House, they're going to be okay. Like, the kids are not going to be exposed to crazy, you know, weird ideas. Even though we try to push the envelope every season, we had an LGBT character last season. We did, you know, I say we as if I wrote it. I didn't write it, but you know, it's like, even if it's Fuller House, which is sort of like a staple of cornbread American culture, I do believe that we made lovely steps towards just making it more accessible and more now and more, you know, open-minded. So I think that's why people connect. And it is like, someone said it, and I think it's a perfect comment. Fuller House is kind of like your favorite aunt. You know, she's always going to be there. And it's nice to go to her house and to get the nice food she bakes. You know, I think that's Fuller House.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the one thing, like, what was it like last day of shooting and just wrapping it all up and having to say goodbye? Because we found out that the show was not going to go further about a year ago.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to Michael Campion about it and how sad he was.
Yeah.
What was it like to just kind of wrap everything up? And
I mean, of course it was sad. It was also a celebration of 5 years of friendship and just going to work to the best set in Hollywood, because there's no egos, there's no weirdnesses. Like, everyone in there really was so lovely and so fun to work with, and so supportive of each other. We still are. I mean, we still, you know, we still connect and have this group chat and we go to each other's weddings and birthdays and things. Well, not right now, but I mean,
yeah.
And the world was open. So yeah, it was tough. I mean, especially for the kids. I think the kids are the ones who suffered the most, because it was their first experience like that. So when that is your first experience in a set, which I wish we all had a first experience like that, to see it end, it's heartbreaking, because it's part of it's like their entire childhood. You know, someone like Elias or Michael, I mean, yeah, it's their whole childhood. So
yeah, especially when you see them grow up on screen and see them
their first kiss, like Michael's first kiss was on camera, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't we all wish we had that type of experience?
Oh, I know.
But yeah, I also wanted to go into, because since we're in quarantine, you've been doing you've been doing these videos on YouTube. Tell us a little bit about that, about the videos you've been doing.
Well, it's a series. It's a web series called Minutiae, which in Latin means small things. And it's basically a show that I created because I really wanted to keep working and keep being active with storytelling. Aside from everything else I do, I feel like at the core, I'm a storyteller, which, you know, sometimes it comes out with acting, other times with music, but there's a big sort of writer director in me. And yeah, I wanted to keep that going and not stop. And so these episodes are about, basically, it's this guy called Tomas, who's this neurotic poor bastard kind of a guy. And he has these conversations with the worst therapist in the world. The actor is Jack Plotnick, who's an incredible actor. And yeah, I have these amazing cameos from Andrea Barber, who plays Kimmy Gibbler, from Sony Nicole Bringas, who plays Ramona on Fuller House, with characters that people are not familiar with them at all. Like for example, Andrea plays this manipulative, douchey agent, and Sony plays this like wild, savage teenager. And so anyway, each week there's a new episode. I premiere them on my YouTube channel, 2 p.m. LA time, Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time, live on my YouTube channel. And it's fun because it's humor. Even though they kind of happen in confinement, they're not about confinement. They're about stupid, silly issues that we spend time on that really, for us, they're huge, but actually they're so dumb, which is our life 24/7, most days.
Well, I saw Thank You. That one where I was just laughing throughout the whole piece, because I was just like, how many people have been in those situations where you're literally talking
all of us
in the shower?
All of us. Yeah, we won't spoil it for them, but how hard is it when you wake up one morning and you're like, oh, I have to break up with someone.
Yes.
And you go through your entire day dreading that meeting, that phone call, that conversation. So that's episode 1. That's how it all started, actually.
Yeah, and that was such a great episode, and I'm looking forward to watching all of them.
Thank you. Well, this week I'm just gonna tease that these they get weirder and weirder. By the way, this week my character Tomas finds himself in a different. There's a glitch in the universe, and he turns into a woman. So you don't want to miss that one.
Oh no, I definitely want to see that. And then to tie everything up, I just wanted to talk about what you do with Project Angel Food.
Yeah.
Especially since it's so important for what has been going on and what's going to continue.
Yeah.
What is it about Project Angel Food that you had to like put all 2 feet in, become a board member, and really help the organization?
Well, I mean, I was honored to be invited. I met them. I knew about them only because they invited me 2 years ago to sing at their Angel Awards. And as I got to know a little bit more about it and went and visited the kitchens and saw that it's something pretty much 80% volunteers. So people who just turn up, they prepare the food, and they do all this work. They deliver the food, everything for free. And for those who don't know about Project Angel Food, it's an organization that was created back in the 80s with the AIDS epidemic to feed people below the poverty line who just couldn't feed themselves. And so it's a free food delivery system. Now it's expanded also to diabetes patients, heart disease, lung disease, all kinds of ailments for people below the poverty line who otherwise would struggle to get food. So it is the most basic human right, food. So yeah, I'm passionate about it, and I'm so glad that they asked me to be part of it because it means a lot, and there's still a lot of people who need it. So yeah, I'm very happy about it, and it's 1,700 meals a week that we deliver, which is huge.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good thing.
And I think people need to. Right now is the best time to give back too. And
yeah, right now. I mean, because of the lack of volunteers, because the kitchens obviously had to close the volunteer program because a safety issue. So it's been a really hard few months, and so this is a perfect time as well to help because the food is still being delivered.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well, Juan Pablo, thank you so much for stopping with us. June 2nd, Fuller House comes back on Netflix. June 2nd. So we'll be binging first day like we do every time.
You'll see all the episodes in like 3 hours.
Yeah, pretty much. And then me and my sister are talking about it afterwards and just laughing the whole time. But thank you so much for stopping with us. We appreciate it so much. And we're going to miss seeing Fernando
Oh, thank you, Michael. Well, hopefully there will be like some incarnation of Fernando and something else. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. I say let's push for a spin-off. I'm just putting it out there.
Hey, it could be a good spin-off.
I think it would be fantastic.
Exactly. And him going back into race car driving?
Yes, and seeing how they met.
Yeah.
Yes, going back in time, flashbacks. Come on.
Exactly. I think
it's a hit.
I think it works good. We need to keep this going somehow. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to, like, with Project Danger Food, don't forget to donate. If you have a couple bucks, give a couple bucks because it can help a lot of people.
Whatever you can, just everything helps. Every little helps.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you next week on Fuller House.
Thank you so much, Michael.
No problem. You too.